All right, I just got through ordering online the laser kit for the Shark HD510, and this is like a $1,200 upgrade. And I looked around at the standalone versions. Everybody that has a standalone version says you want the standalone version, and not very many people had these on their Sharks. And my main thing is I'm not a real laser fan as far as making stuff with laser, because just from my experience, I like the stuff that's been carved and things like that. So this is the opening. I haven't opened this box yet, and I don't really know what's in it. Um, this is the Shark packing, and shows the 20-watt laser install manual. Nice 3-ring manual. That's excellent. Looks like they gave us a set of laser glasses. These looks like they're orange, whereas my other ones are kind of reddish looking. Let's see what they look like. I know different lasers have different spectrums. These don't creep my eyes out quite as bad as the red ones did. Anyway, so there's that. That's nice to have that. I like the Shark products because they give you what you need, and it works, and it works real well. So this is looks like a little fan. Preferably, it's a nice little Shark fan. It's got the speed on it for how fast you want to, with a plug-in for stuff. So, and I don't know what's in this thing. I have not really researched it. There's nothing on the web that talks about this stuff. And here is the Shark laser module there. So there's that. That's nice. And then one more box in here of all of the things that make it work. Okay, I'll set that off to the side here. Getting into that for a minute. Double check this. 2 more pieces of foam. Put them down in here. It's very well packaged. Nice packaging. Looks like some little pads or some kind of little feet things. And there is a grate, metal grate for it's labeled Shark on it. Got some measurements on it. In a metal package with looks to be very quality made. Very good make. I mean, it all looks like good stuff. I'm gonna set that down. About to pull this box out of the way. Okay, so that was what came in the box. And let's look at what's inside this thing. Laser control box looks like. I wonder what the difference is between this and my other laser, because I have the HD510 with a 2.5 watt laser. So just looking at how much difference, this definitely has 20 watt ribbon controller. That information's on there. That's good. Got a set of keys for probably this thing here, and we'll go ahead and put them in there just for the fun of it, just so they don't lose that while I'm unpackaging it. And we'll slip one of them in there. There we go. So there's that with the ribbon cable. Put that inside the foam box. Some Q-tips, probably for cleaning the laser bottom. We'll leave that alone. Put that in there. Looks like some mounting stuff. Screw M5, 10, 4 pieces. A couple little plastic devices of some kind. Some mounting stuff. Looks like it's magnetic. Got a little magnetic kind of a stuff for it. And it's a bracket to mount something. And we'll figure that all out here in just a little bit. See what we get out of it. Looks like probably a little power transformer. Yeah, let's say that's a power transformer for probably for the fan. Most likely. Yeah, I would say that's probably right. Tubing for the power assist. So there's that. and then the power cord that goes from the module to the laser. And it's probably, I don't know, I'm not sure how long it is. Then it comes with a couple cable ties and a little informational thing that shows care recommendation for shark lasers. And it looks like it talks about a little cleaning kit for the, they show the 7-watt laser in the picture. So anyway, that's in that side. That's the end of that box there. So we'll put that over there in the square box thing and get rid of all of our packaging pretty much. And there is the goods and the bracket and all that good stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull the information and look at this. I have not seen this online, this setup at all. That's why I'm doing an unboxing. I generally don't do any unboxings. In fact, it's probably the first one that I've done. But we're going to get into that. I'm going to review this information in here and then get back with you guys. All right. The thing about this is got a little dust on there. I've been resawing some logs and doing some carving as we all do. And I have my old dust plate on here that I was using, and it's showing that it mounts to the front. So I'm going to be pulling that and looking at how that mounts up here in just a little bit. And I'm going to clean that off real good with the vacuum and check it out. I was looking at the manual. Manual does a good job. It has the an updated spot where you can look at it with that little guy right there, and then it tells us to check that site if you're curious about it. Gives you all of the warnings, shows you that stuff that comes with it, talks about the product overview, and it warns you that this is a higher wattage laser, but it operates very similar to the other ones. And so now we're down to an installation of the mounting bracket, and it gives you some nice pictures there. So I'm going to dig into this a little bit more, clean up. As you can see on top of my mounting bracket, there should be a couple bolts in here, and I'll mount that thing up to the front there. So let me. All right, according to that instructions, these mount up here to these two top brackets right here. So this little guy right here, if I was to keep it on there, was going to have to come off. So, and I don't use this thing. I use this enclosure. And I am 99.9% sure after 3 years of not using this that the closure is the way to go for these smaller machines. Just lift it up and it contains all that and all the smoke, and I'll vent it right outside. I do plan on adding a vent to my port so that it'll go outside and vent outside on the exhaust up there on the top of it. So it'll come out to the filter for cold air, and then for when I'm doing laser, I hit a gate valve up there at the top, shoot it straight out the side. So that's kind of what I've got going on, and get that done in the next few days. So let's get this thing off and this plate here off and go to put. Okay, well, I had trouble with this one bolt right off the get-go. It stripped on me the rest of the time I got out. So I had to loosen up the 4 bolts up here on the front and pull them up. They're like 4-inch bolts, and they go through the front, so that allowed me to pivot around, and I just kind of left that on there. I'm going to slice. I tried taking easy out to get it out, but it won't come out. So I'm going to put a little slot in the screw head and make a regular screw head so I can get one in there. Hopefully I can get it to come out. So let's get. Alright, that worked. I was able to get that baby come out of there. You don't want to try and get them broke off there. If you can, put a slot in it. This generally works. Those easy outs, they just don't work. These, get your Dremel, put your cutoff blade in, cut your little notch, and get the thing to come out of there. So that router's about to come off of there. Alright, put those 4 bolts back in. Got my dust collection plate off of there. And doing pretty good there. There is the screw, the offending screw right here that's got had to put the slot in it. And that works good with that little Dremel cut-off tool. So I'm going to take this off because I really don't need it. Haven't used my dust collection on this for 3 or 4 years. Again, I go with the hood. So I will have to figure out another mount for my light, because I was going off this bracket But we'll find out what we need to do with that here in just a little bit. So let's move on to step number 2, or this one right here. And it's like step number 1 is mounting the bracket, and we're going to put them in. They go right there in the top holes of that thing right there. So there's our little guy there, and we'll take some of these 1/4x20 screws that come in the packet, which is nice there, and put them in. Doesn't show any washers on it, so we'll get that done. Okay, there's your spindle mount in there. I don't know if I have that in upside down or what the deal is with it. I very well may have it in upside down, but I may have to turn this bracket over to go around that, so I didn't really know. So anyway, we're going to try this and see where we're at with that. But it would only fit into those guys right there. Up here they wouldn't fit, so we'll see. I may have to flip this whole bracket around, and if it does, then we'll do that, but we'll just see here. Well, 4 years and I had that bracket on there upside down, so I'm going to take these 4 bolts out, flip this around, and stick it back on there. So there we go. It only slides on. I put the deal on there. It slides deeper that way than it does here. It's got a little slot in here for the screw on the mount, so I need to rotate it. So let me get that done. Okay, it says to attach the 20-watt. Slide the 20-watt laser head onto the bracket. Tighten it down with the knob on the front. Loosen the knob will allow the height of the laser head to be adjusted. So there we go. Let's get that on there. And here's our laser head. Nice shark logo on it. And there is the mounting bracket. The router turned in, the bracket's right side up. Adjusted the depth right here so that the router could cut when it's ready to cut. And let's see if this thing will fit in there. It slides up on there in aluminum extrusion. Let's see here. Like that. And it locks in about right there, which is the lowest point it can get, which is pretty close to being right. Let's see here. Let's put it up about right there. Lock it in. And there she's installed. That was easy enough. Just for the fun of it. Let's see how far she'll go down. She will go down. So if you're an idiot, you can bring it all the way out here and jam it. It may knock you off. So you have to make sure you're not down below that setting. Okay. So there we go there. All right. Let's go up with it. Do the next setting for it. Okay, we went step 1, step 2. Attach the provided rubber feet to the air assist pump by removing the adhesive lining on the feet and the holes on the pump itself. And attach the feet. So here's the feet. There's that, and that. And I'm assuming that goes on the bottom side there. Feed up with the holes on the pump itself. Okay. And we got a couple holes right here. Match them 2 holes on that. And they'll go right down in there like that. Give them a good press. Everything's nice and clean, so it should stick just fine. And we'll put these 2 guys right in here. Okay. And press. So there they are there. Okay. Got that done. Rest the air pump on top of the drag chain at the back of the Shark CNC gantry. Then wrap the zip ties around the pump and the drag chain to secure it in place. So here we go on the back of that. And it goes back there along that. Power supply. So apparently this is going to go up about a 20-watt laser power supply. Okay. So there we go. So I guess that will tie onto that, and the hose will go out this side, power supply will go out this side, and that will go this way, like this. Okay. I'm going to take my hood off, which is a really easy thing. All you gotta do is lift it off and take it off. So let me get that done. Alright, a minute later, the hood's off of that. I'm gonna clean that mess up. There's the top of my hood. A little dust on the back side, so let me give it a cleaning before I get in there and start messing with it. Okay, a couple of minutes later, she's cleaned up. And let's see about planting that air assist on that drag chain. So I almost have it sitting there at the Shark, so I'm going to set it all the way to the right and see where my drag chain stops moving. All the way to the left, I guess. Set that thing to the left. There's basically the end of that outer limit. So see where this thing sits now. Alright, they said take the air assist and put it right there. Put it on that. So move this thing down here a bit. Whoop. That's going to get some juice from somewhere. Check our manual one more time. Looks like it's wired to the Shark. The hose is to the left. Power supply is to the right. And there says Shark. Okay. So we'll just do something like that right there. Okay, there she is. Get that done. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. There's a e-cool system on the gantry head. Ready, place the pump next to its show and follow the same procedure for HC500. Use an e-cool system. The pump can be placed anywhere on the machine's bed that will not interfere with the operation of the machine. Okay, connect the laser hub to the controller using the 20-pin controller cable. Okay. Okay, there's the control cable, which this mounts right next to the controller, I'm assuring. So we're going to go ahead and take that down here and look at my other laser controller. I had it mounted right there, so I'm going to slip that out and pull that one out and put this one in. So there's the controller. They look very similar. So one's got a blue hose to it, connector, and there it is going to my that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull my old stuff out. This is my Shark laser head here, and I used to keep it right here because these didn't disconnect, you know, so I kept that in that thing. So I'll be able to pull that off of there, unplug that. So let me get that done. Okay, plug my cable into the top of that, run it along the router cord, come down to here. I followed the chain to that point, and then I left the chain, and I'm following this over here. The reason I'm doing that is because that chain is fairly full, and it's a hassle to get in and out of. I've already ran one external cable through that, you know, that used to go back inside the arm right here. So, because I had a cable go bad, so I just ran it on the outside and clamped it to the arm, and then it goes down. So that's all following that way. So I follow here, follow this around. This is my router power and my light cord, and then this is the power for the air assist, and then this is the fiber optic or the diode laser power going to the controller. So they go down through a little runway on my table, come out here. I've got to plug this into an extension cord that I have here for my other devices, and then they come back around, and this is the front of the Shark. Wired in, it's plugged in. That's the cord that's falling around, and just got to check the run, make sure everything runs, the distance, and see where we're at here. Okay. Not very often do I go all that way back to here, so we're pretty tight, but that's bigger than the travel on my device here pretty much. So let's see where we're at here. I could go back a little bit farther, but I just never have. This is the end travel of my 24 inches by 24. So anyway, so there we go there. I could go just a little bit farther back, and I see that my cabling right there is a little bit tight. It's never been an issue because I probably never went that length of that stuff before, so might have to put a little bit of a slack bungee right in here to allow me to go back a little farther if I need to. So, all right. Also, be very possible that my router table might need to come up a little bit. It's probably slid back over time. That's probably what it is. This is slid back to the very back end of the table, and I just need to slide it back up and put a stop back in there. All right, let me address that. All right, I put my little shim in my deal to keep my thing from sliding down. You know, not very often do I run that deep of material. Every now and then I do, but not very often. So it's been a while since I really didn't run into that since I replaced that lamp a year and a half ago. So I put that lamp on there and tied it. Well, it was when it got back to here, this point here, it was pulling a little bit tight on that cord. I was going to put a bungee, but I found out that my little unit had slid. So I put a keeper there, and I put a keeper up here in the front. Off the remainder of that, it's just the one before. So anyway, that worked good, and she won't be moving around on me. Might move a little bit left to right, but let's get the top on it, or let's go ahead and continue on with the install. Okay, so we've done the laser hub, connect the laser hub to a controller using 20-pin cable. We know we did that. And it talks about the guys with a 2 and 3 horse spindle. They're going to have to get some kind of a kit or accessory for that. It shows here the laser head, ribbon cable. The key switch is located on the back. The twin. Do not engage the key switch until you are ready to run a file. Of course, it's not conveniently on mine, so it'll be engaged all the time. And this one doesn't. This one works a little different than mine. This gets its power from the machine apparently, so it doesn't have a power cable that plugs into that. So it gets its power directly from here. So that's a little different. Anyway, so we got that from the little 3 watt or 2.5 watt one. So okay, so we got that done. There, that's done. Laser bed assembly optional. Laser bed cutting honeycomb table specialized tool which is used with laser tools. It's designed to hold and support material being cut while allowing the laser beam to pass through and make precise cuts with minimal heat transfer distillation. Laser bed is also equipped with a metal protection plate which can protect the surface under the laser bed with your laser damage. Protection plate is optional when engraving the surface of material but must be used when cutting through materials. And that would be this little guy right here. And they do have a little plate on the bottom of it, and well made plate. So laser bed corner feet, side to 4 triangular corner pieces on there, and they're already on there. So okay, rubber pads for protection plate. Place rubber pad and protected sides, so we can put these on there. There's 4 of those pads in there, so we'll put them on there next. Okay, got those on. Just put them on the bottom of those, and stick them. So no brainer there. That's only if you're cutting through that we do need that stuff. If we're just engraving on the top, we don't need that bed. Laser bed placement. Position laser bed when the travel area of your shark machine should involve cutting through the material. Ensure that the protective plate is positioned beneath the laser bed. Okay. Then it has a laser offset pendant. Making marks. Install a pointed pin in the spindle router to make a mark in a flat piece of material, preferably a milled spool board. Ensure the measurement is accurately referencing the machine. Make sure the material will not move. Choose a spot in the middle of the bed where the machine can move freely in all directions. On the pendant, manually jog the Z down to the lower bit. To the middle surface, press 0XY. Make the current bit location 0 point. Make a small mark with the bit on the surface of the material, so that's just normal zeroing. Place the Z height alignment tool on the material surface underneath the laser head. Then lower the laser head until the shield touches the alignment tool. Okay. So this is apparently the alignment tool. Where'd it go? Right here. Focus pad. Way 1, way 2. So it looks like we can put this on there. However we want to put it on there. On the top of the deal. And it's got some screws on it here. We'll just see what we got here. Very interesting. Good question on that one. We'll have to do a little research. Alright, this is my first cut with the laser, other than just testing the laser with the dot. So this is the first time I've cut it. I did experiment with a little bit on that. I had some issues with my firmware. I had to go up and update my firmware and get that done, set the offset in there. I had to put my offset in there. The laser has an offset of how far it is from the router bit, and once you program that in, it works off the center of your piece. So I've got it carved a Ranger emblem in, and it's just basically etching it. I don't remember the settings on it. It's just what's generic in the settings on the in the manual. So it's all been pretty straightforward. The when I went into my apps, it didn't have the settings, the offset. It had the offset menu. So I went ahead and went in and put in a firmware upgrade and hooked the laptop up to it and all that good stuff, and plugged in the controller box. So I got both firmware updates into that, which that worked out pretty well. And then now this is the first time I'm really cutting it. I just took a piece of scrap plywood and centered it, put it on the center, and just see how close to center it is, and let it burn, do its thing and burn. And I will say it, you know, even at 25% power, that thing's just going to town. It's not real high on the burn. I did put the vacuum assist on it. Down here, I just took a little extension cord from that. It's coming down, it's plugged in that. I'll neaten it up a little bit, but I have a deal for my light. I have a deal for my router CNC relay and for the speed controller. And so those all three run into that little extension cord. And that little white cord's a dimmer for the light. But anyway, I just made a real short patch cord for that. I'll clean that up a little bit and let it go. I like doing proof of concept in before I get too carried away with it. So, but anyway, it's lasering away. It's a whole lot faster than my little small laser 2.5 water. And that thing worked good. I mean, I've done 4 years. I've carved hundreds of patches, other patches with it. It doesn't cut, but it graves, and does a pretty good job. Next thing I got to do is get a deal on the dust collector that vents outside, so that the fumes from this will go straight outside. When I hit a switch, of course it'll take the heat out of the shop when I'm doing that. But you know, some things that I etch, you don't want to smell that. So. But it's not terribly bad as far as that. I've got the air assist running, and so I don't know what I'm doing with this at all. So I don't have a clue what I'm doing with it. But it's going to town on it, and my shop, and it's going around beating the band. So laser's installed and working. I'll put the box over it and plumb that in on up there a little bit later on today, most likely.